Hey everyone, it's Frank, and today we're diving into some key questions for your California Class A permit test study guide. Understanding these concepts is crucial for getting your permit and, eventually, your CDL in the Golden State. Let's get right into it. What is the primary purpose of a pre trip inspection? To discover defects that could cause a crash or breakdown. Catching issues before you drive keeps everyone safer on the road. All right, what's next? What is the minimum age to obtain an intrastate within California Class A CDL? 18 years old. In California, you can drive commercially within the state starting at 18. Moving on. You should hold your commercial learner's permit CLP for at least how many days before taking the CDL skills test in California? 14 days. This mandatory waiting period ensures you have time for supervised practice. So, what's next? Which of these is not a basic type of air brake system? Disc brake system. While disc brakes can be air operated, the three basic types of air brake systems are service, parking, and emergency brakes. Disc brakes are a type of foundation brake. Next on our list, what is the most common cause of commercial vehicle rollovers? Taking curves or turns too fast. Speed on curves combined with a high center of gravity is a recipe for disaster. Okay, what's after this? What is the purpose of the supply pressure gauge in an air brake system? It shows the air pressure available in the air tanks. This gauge tells you how much compressed air you have for braking. Let's move on. When performing a light test during a pre-trip inspection, what are you checking? All lights, including headlights, turn signals, and brake lights, are clean and operational. Proper lighting is essential for visibility and communicating with other drivers. What about this next one? What is the danger of hydroplaning? The tires lose contact with the road, and you lose steering and braking control. This makes your vehicle essentially a sled on water with no control. On to the next question. How often must air tanks in an air brake system be drained? At the end of each working day. Draining removes moisture and oil to prevent rust and brake system failure. Moving forward, what is the crack the whip effect in multi-trailer vehicles? The rear trailer swinging out excessively in turns. This dangerous effect can lead to rollovers or striking other vehicles. Let's consider the next one. What is the minimum tread depth for all tires on a CMV other than front tires? 230 inch. This ensures adequate traction for braking and stability. And the next point. What is the primary advantage of a dual air brake system? If one system fails, the other can still operate part of the brakes. This provides a critical safety backup for braking. What's next? Why should you inspect your cargo during a trip? To ensure it remains secure and does not shift. Shifting cargo can affect vehicle stability and create hazards. Moving on to this. What should you do if your air pressure warning light comes on while driving? Stop immediately and safely to inspect the system. Low air pressure is a sign of potential brake failure requiring immediate action. All right, let's see. What is the most important factor in determining your safe following distance? Your speed, the condition of the road, and the weather. These factors directly impact how much time and space you need to stop. What's after this? What does ABS stand for in relation to braking systems? Anti-lock braking system. ABS helps prevent wheels from locking up during hard braking. Next question. When backing a commercial vehicle with a trailer, what is the most important thing to remember? Turn the steering wheel in the opposite direction you want the trailer to go. This counterintuitive action is key to trailer control. Let's get to this one. What is the purpose of glad hands on combination vehicles? To connect the air lines between the tractor and the trailer. These connectors allow the air brake system to operate across the entire vehicle. Okay, what's next? What is the function of the air compressor governor? To control when the compressor starts and stops pumping air. It maintains proper air pressure within the system. Moving on. If the pulling forward test after coupling a trailer reveals that the fifth wheel is not locked, what should you do? Stop immediately and recouple the trailer. A proper coupling is non-negotiable for safe operation. So what's next? Why are bobtail tractors, tractors without trailers, harder to stop smoothly than a loaded tractor trailer? They have much less weight over the drive wheels, reducing traction for braking. This lack of weight can make the drive wheels skid easily. Next on our list, What type of vehicles are not typically considered a combination vehicle for CDL Class A purposes? A single straight truck. A Class A CDL is for combination vehicles with a specific GVWR or more. Okay, what's after this? When driving in heavy fog, what lights should you use? Low beam headlights. High beams will reflect off the fog and worsen visibility. Let's move on. What is the correct way to test the service brakes in a CMV? Apply the foot brake firmly when driving about 5 miles per hour and check for pulls or unusual feel. This checks for proper brake function and balance. What about this next one? What is a potential danger if the release arm on a fifth wheel is not in the fully locked position after coupling? The trailer could detach from the tractor. A securely locked fifth wheel is crucial for preventing runaway trailers. On to the next question. What is the minimum number of days you must hold a California CDL Class A commercial learner's permit before you can take the skills test? 14 days. California requires this period before you can attempt the practical exam. Moving forward, how can you check if your slack adjusters are properly adjusted? By manually pulling on them. If they move more than an inch, they need adjustment. This manual check helps ensure your brakes are in good working order. Let's consider the next one. What is the primary purpose of electronic logging devices, ELDs, in CMVs? To accurately record a driver's hours of service, HOS. ELDs help ensure drivers comply with federal HOS regulations to prevent fatigue. And the next point, what is the main risk of downshifting incorrectly, e.g. downshifting too early or late, loss of vehicle control, or excessive engine braking? Incorrect downshifting can cause a sudden jolt, loss of traction, or even engine damage. What's next? What is the main cause of air brake lag? The time it takes for air to flow through the lines from the brake pedal to the brake chambers. This lag means your brakes don't apply instantly. Moving on to this, when uncoupling a trailer, after lowering the landing gear to the ground, what is your next step? Disconnect the air lines and electrical cable. This is done before completely separating the tractor from the trailer. All right, let's see. What is the most effective way to communicate your intentions to other drivers? Use your turn signals early. Clear and early signaling gives others time to react. What's after this? If the safety latch for the fifth wheel locking lever is not in place, what is the risk? The kingpin might not be properly locked. Without the safety latch, the locking mechanism could accidentally disengage. Next question. What should you do if your engine coolant light comes on? Pull over safely and check the coolant level. Overheating can cause serious engine damage if not addressed promptly. Let's get to this one. When driving in strong winds, combination vehicles are especially prone to what? Being pushed sideways by the wind. Their large surface area makes them highly susceptible to strong gusts. Okay, what's next? What is the common term for a condition where brake drum or disc temperature rises excessively, leading to reduced braking power? Brake fade. Overheated brakes lose their effectiveness. Moving on. Why should you avoid oversteering when backing a long combination vehicle? It can cause the trailer to swing out rapidly and make steering corrections more difficult. Small, precise movements are best when backing. So what's next? What is the purpose of the emergency air line on a combination vehicle? To supply air to the trailer's air tanks and control the emergency brakes. This line is vital for the trailer's braking system and automatic emergency braking. Next on our list, what should you check on the kingpin and fifth wheel during a coupling inspection? Ensure the kingpin is not bent or cracked and the fifth wheel is properly greased. A damaged kingpin or poorly lubricated fifth wheel can lead to coupling failure. Okay, what's after this? What is the minimum air pressure required for the low air pressure warning device to activate in a CMV? Typically around 60 psi or half the cutout pressure. This threshold warns you before air pressure becomes critically low for safe braking. Let's move on. Why is it important to block the wheels when parking a trailer not equipped with spring brakes? To prevent the trailer from rolling away. Without spring brakes, there's no automatic parking brake if air pressure is lost. What about this next one? What is the critical role of slack adjusters in an air brake system? They adjust the distance the brake shoes move to compensate for lining wear. They keep the brakes in proper adjustment, ensuring effective braking. On to the next question. What is the main risk of sudden movements of the steering wheel when driving a combination vehicle? Trailer rollover. Quick, jerky steering can easily upset the stability of a trailer. Moving forward, what should you do before starting down a steep downgrade with a heavy load? Shift into a low gear. This uses engine braking to control your speed, preserving your service brakes. Let's consider the next one. How can you prevent condensation and rust in your air brake system? Regularly drain the air tanks. Draining removes moisture that can cause corrosion and freeze in cold weather. And the next point. What is the recommended method for backing a commercial vehicle with a trailer? Back slowly and make small steering corrections. Smooth, gradual inputs give you more control and time to react. What's next? What does the air compressor in an air brake system do? Pumps air into the air storage tanks. This maintains the air pressure needed for the brake system to function. Moving on to this. When inspecting the coupling, how can you confirm the fifth wheel jaws are locked around the kingpin? Go under the trailer and look into the back of the fifth wheel. Visually confirming the lock is the most reliable method. All right, let's see. What is the consequence of letting air out of the air brake system faster than the compressor can replace it? The brakes will eventually stop working. Running out of air means no more braking power. What's after this? What is the general rule for determining a safe speed on a curve with a combination vehicle? Slow down to a safe speed before entering the curve. Braking in a curve can lead to jackknifing or rollover. Next question. What is the primary function of the spring brakes? They engage automatically if air pressure drops too low, serving as emergency and parking brakes. These are critical safety brakes. Let's get to this one. What should you check regarding the electrical connection between the tractor and trailer during a pre-trip inspection? Ensure it is securely mounted and not damaged, with no exposed wires. A faulty electrical connection can disable lights and other essential systems. Okay, what's next? What is the purpose of an alcohol evaporator in an air brake system? To help reduce the risk of ice forming in the air brake valves in cold weather, it injects alcohol vapor into the air system to prevent freezing. Moving on. What type of trailers are especially prone to getting stuck on railroad highway crossings? Low slung units, lowboys, car carriers, moving vans, or single axle tractors pulling a long trailer. Their low clearance can cause them to bottom out on raised crossings. So what's next? Why is proper weight distribution important for cargo in a combination vehicle? To prevent overloading axles and to ensure vehicle stability. Unevenly distributed cargo can lead to instability, tire wear, and even rollovers. And that wraps up this study session for your California Class A permit test. Keep reviewing these important concepts, and you'll be well prepared for your exam. Good luck.